Are you ready?
Yes.
Well, hey, brother.
Hey, Al.
And welcome everyone back to another
Another
episode
episode of
Siblings
Siblings
in
in Crime.
Crime. Wow, nice. I'm Allie Rosso.
And I'm Blake Murphy.
And just as it sounds, we're siblings who love true crime.
Yes, love it.
Absolutely.
Love it so much that I didn't even shower
Ew.
after my workout so I could be here to be with you guys. And Allie was hurrying me.
I was hurrying him because we don't got all day. We got things to do. And
She also made me go get a breakfast burrito for her.
And it was
And then she
so
said, "You
good.
took so long."
I texted him at like 8:30 saying breakfast burritos. He's like, yeah, I'll pick it up after the gym. He comes rolling in at 10:30.
I started my run at 8:30.
I'm thinking that you're going to be home by then. I was like, it was so sad. I was just starving waiting for him. But we made it. We're here. And one thing from last week is that we totally forgot to give a keyword. We realized that after. We're like, we're so done. We're like, let's start doing that just to not do it.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to remember this week.
That was silly.
That was a little ridiculous. So sorry about that. But we do want to start doing that. I think it was fun. As always, thanks for everyone for the support. Please like, subscribe,
Yes.
comment, everything else.
Thanks to our recommender.
Yeah, so thanks to Sabrina for this week's recommendation, actually. I have never been to Bullhead City, and I actually wasn't quite sure where it was, even though we're from Arizona. And so it was interesting to hear about this case for the very first time. And unfortunately, there's not as much information as there should be about this case. So I'm glad that we're giving it the recognition it deserves.
Amen, sister.
Are you ready to get into it?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, the desert outside Bullhead City looks endless. Flat, open, quiet. That is until early September 2014. Searchers are sweeping a wash less than a half a mile from a small house in town. The sun hasn't been up for long. The air still holds the heavy desert heat from the night before. Someone notices the dirt looks wrong. Not dug deep, not carefully covered, just scraped over. They brush it back, and there she is, 8 years old, partially clothed, curled into a shallow makeshift grave. It's been less than 24 hours since she was reported missing. What investigators would later discover was absolutely devastating. And this is the story of Isabella, or Bella, Grogan-Cannella. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's roll.
It's a kid case.
Kid case. I know. We don't do them very often. It's so sad. Both of us are big babies when it comes to kids being harmed.
Mostly her.
I'm a big baby.
Just kidding,
If I
me too.
cry, I know. I wouldn't be surprised if I cry. I cry easily. Well, by the time the investigators step into that desert wash, we're kind of starting with the scene, and then we'll backtrack. The urgency had already shifted. It isn't just a search anymore, and it's now a homicide case. Like, very obviously so. Like I said, the grave is shallow. It was, like, poorly done. It wasn't like someone spent a lot of time here.
Yeah, just threw some dirt on it.
Yeah, and I think that, like, that obviously shows people are someone's in a rush. I don't know if it means that they were freaking out, panicked over it, or just in a hurry. But obviously, this doesn't seem like it was planned ahead, where there was already something dug, or
They just didn't care.
or they didn't
Like,
care.
no one's going to be out here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the introduction that you never listened to, they were only half a mile away from, like, the nearest town, like houses and stuff. So it's not like they were, like, in a super secluded area.
How many people would just walk around in the desert?
I mean, I suppose, but maybe if you're looking for a missing person. But, yeah, not very far out of town. But then that also leads me to believe that you're probably in a hurry, regardless.
No, they're not in a hurry.
No. Keep fighting me on it. Like I said, Bella was found partially clothed, and there were visible signs that this was obviously not an accident. The medical examiner will later confirm that the cause of death was by asphyxiation and by strangulation, and she seemed to have been sexually assaulted. Yeah, I hate that. So Bella's 10-year-old sister becomes the first critical witness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say suspect.
I know. I was leading up to that. Your eyes are getting big. Yeah, no, she's the first critical witness because she tells investigators that she saw Bella around 11:30 p.m. in their house, like the night that she disappeared.
Stepdad.
That's so funny. She has a stepdad. Okay. You're going to hang on to that? Well, she remembers, like the sister, remembers going to the bathroom, and when she came back out, Bella was no longer there. So she went upstairs for a minute, and this is what she's telling investigators. Nothing seemed out of place. Bella didn't seem like she was distraught. There was nothing that she overheard. She just came back downstairs and Bella wasn't there anymore. All they know, investigators at this point, is that Bella had gone missing after 11:30 p.m. And also that this wasn't a child that seemed to have just been like wandering off. She has no history of like trying to run away or anything like that. There was no like footprints in the desert that they were looking for, like no little tiny feet or anything that she packed. There's nothing like that. And obviously she's only 8 years old, but I mean, I have heard cases that as young as 8 may try and run away. Doesn't seem to be Bella. In the first 24 hours, investigators began to build a timeline. Who was inside the house? Who last saw Bella? Who had access? Who left during this window of time? Because in cases like this, the answers are almost always close to home. And so now we're going to backtrack and we'll take it back to her house. So starting with Bella, though. She was 8 years old when she was found murdered in 2014. But before that, she was just a little girl growing up in Bullhead City. She was in the type of town that was small. And I feel like when you think of like a small town, you're like, oh, like quaint and cute little town. Not necessarily. Because crime rates in Bullhead City have historically been higher than the national average, particularly with property crime, and violent crimes have also kind of fluctuated higher. So it's not like kids are out riding their bikes till dark and leave your doors unlocked type of small town, though. Mm-hmm. So not that it was like necessarily completely unsafe, but not the best environment either. But teachers described her as sweet, friendly, inquisitive. She followed directions. She was kind of like a people pleaser. She wanted to make everyone proud. And she was just a bright and happy little kid from like all teachers' accounts.
I feel like we have a cousin that lives there.
In Bullhead?
Yeah.
I would have no idea.
Me neither.
What makes you feel that way?
I think I remember someone talking about it.
As you can tell, we're not very close with our extended family.
Yeah.
I know. Well, that'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I have no idea. Well, it makes it even sadder because she's like this bright little girl. And so what comes next makes it even harder. Because while Bella showed up for school smiling, there were some concerns at home. Not a very stable life. In January of 2008, when Bella was still very young, roughly 2 years old at this point, a report was made to the Arizona Child Protective Services. A call came actually within the family. Somebody from the family called CPS and told them that there was alleged drug use in the home, specifically meth. That's pretty aggressive.
Yeah,
drug.
that's aggressive.
Yeah, and described that it was just a chaotic environment. Those allegations obviously triggered an investigation, and so CPS opened a case. And that was the beginning of a paper trail that was going to haunt Bella for years. Caseworkers attempted to assess the home environment and determine whether Bella was in immediate danger. And throughout this whole case, I'm talking about like, they got a hard job, like CPS, because I feel like a lot of times there's only so much you can do, which is probably frustrating.
Yeah.
So that time was called CPS. Now it's actually called Arizona Department of Child Safety. So I've been calling it DCS from here on out. That's like the proper term nowadays, I guess.
Okay.
Well, according to the DCS summary, the allegations were ultimately classified as unsubstantiated, which is so frustrating because it's not that like the person calling was lying that there was potential drug use or any form of neglect, but however, investigators did not find enough evidence. Yeah, but they could have. Yeah.
And just try to get the kids away from
True.
Their
That's
sister
the hard
that
thing.
they hate or something.
It's almost like word against word when it comes to this kind of stuff. If they don't find enough evidence in the house or like the kids aren't speaking up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which is so sad. And so because of this, their hands are kind of tied. I feel so bad, like I was saying, for these type of programs because according for the DCS at least, the hotline volume is crazy. There's 60,000 to 70,000 reports of child abuse or neglect every single year. Like that is so much. And that's like the Arizona DCS. Like I can't imagine nationwide, worldwide, all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. About a third to a half of these hotline reports are screened for an investigation. So it's like hardly any of those. And then from those that actually get investigated, typically only 15 to 25% are substantiated. And they actually find like the abuse meets legal standards. And so it's like, dang, so either you're not getting abused enough to like make it into the system to be safe.
Right underneath the bar.
Yeah, or you have to be like worse, like more abused, or like have a worse environment in order to meet the criteria.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sucky situation.
Yeah, it is. It's rough.
It's a shock that any kid
A lot of bad parents
gets out
there.
of the harsh environment. Yeah, for sure, for real. Anyways, I don't know how you fix the system, but the parents just got to fix themselves. That's what it is.
Yeah.
However, the instability noted in the report did not simply resolve because the family's living situation became difficult to track. They seemed like the type that they were like bouncing around houses. They were moving regularly. So DCS had a hard time like with any type of follow through or follow up whatsoever. Like there was like no form of consistent contact because of how often they were like kind of leaving around. And for me, I'm like, are you intentionally dipping around town, or you
Probably just get evicted or kicked out or something?
I was like, or is this life just hard? Which it could be either, but probably, yeah, more of that. So by early 2009, the case was closed, but it wouldn't be the last case, of course. So nearly 4 years later, Belle's name resurfaced in the system. She's back. It's now November 2012, and a report was made of physical abuse. So not just the drugs in the house. Evidently, Bella, now being around 6 years old, reportedly told somebody that her mom had slapped her, and there's mention of a bump or some sort of mark on her head. And so the DCS, once again, started an investigation, and caseworkers interviewed Bella and the adults involved. And this is what's so difficult with children, is that it happens so often where you go and talk to a child, and they're going to tell you whatever they're told to say.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like, they think you want to hear.
Unless they feel comfortable with you.
Yeah, unless
like
they feel comfortable with you.
Or they could lie. That's all. All of it's hard.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell, like, when kids are being truthful or, like, if they're scared or whatever. Because at some point during questioning, Bella's explanation about the injury started to change.
Oh.
Yeah. So she reportedly...
Then they can't really do anything.
Exactly. That's what's so hard. And so she reportedly indicated that the bump may have actually come from an accident rather than intentional harm. And this is so common. They could be like, oh, was it an alien that hit you on the head? And if you're like, misleading in your questioning, they'd be like, yeah, it was that, you know? Like, and so like small kids, I don't know I hope that these caseworkers are just so well trained with how to handle kids, because
probably are, or decent.
I would assume so. You would hope so. I've
heard what they do.
I've heard horrible cases of like investigators, like police investigators, having so much weight and accidentally misleading kids to believe that like somebody abused them and they weren't abused by that person and stuff like that. And so you got to be careful, because you don't want them to be like, yeah, like they did abuse you and like you're putting a innocent person behind bars type of thing.
Yeah. So
it's like you got to be careful both ways. So ultimately, the allegations was not substantiated again, because now Bella's backtracking on her story. And that with like the physical abuse is going to happen even once more, because not too long later, she had another account that she said that her legs had been kicked and hit, and she had bruises all over her legs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But when they came back, when they were trying to interview Bella, she kept backtracking on her story. And so
she's scared.
I know, she's scared. So it's like, is she getting kicked and abused, or is she scared and doesn't want to tell the truth? I tend to lean that these bruises probably...
Check
what do you mean?
her body?
Well, they know she has bruises.
Oh.
And they're just saying like where these bruises are coming from.
Yeah, because I had bruises all the time as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like she could be playing, like she's near the desert. She's probably out running around, falling down, scraping herself up.
Yeah.
And that's like where these caseworkers are standing with this. Like it could be anything. She definitely has bruises, but that's not enough to take her away from her family, to relocate her, to push charges, anything like that. So we have 2 reports, 2 investigations closed within weeks of each other. This was in November and December of 2012. So like back to back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty recent, or pretty...
Seemed consistent.
Yeah.
Back to back.
I feel like if it happens multiple times, it maybe triggers a deeper investigation or something.
Yeah, you think.
Or someone who's like the person reporting this.
They keep coming
needs
after
to help
them.
out. Yeah, needs to be like, I don't know.
Do something at least. Well,
Yeah.
you would think that what they're trying to do is get DCS involved, and maybe that would help.
Yeah.
But seems like everyone, it almost feels like everyone knows what's going on, whether that be family members,
Just
the
can't prove it.
DCS, exactly. But there's so many like legal things you have to go through in order to be able to definitively be like, yes, there is reason to remove this child from the home.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks so
Jeez
bad.
Louise.
I know. So on paper, like neither of these met the legal definition required for removal, but in reality, it meant like within a single month, we have these two separate occasions of potential physical abuse allegations, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But without being able to do anything, without Bella like admitting it, without being able to like be an eyewitness, I don't know like what the exact standards are, but because they couldn't confirm, they had to step back once again. And I don't know what the right thing is. Like, I don't know. Is there something more that could be done in these cases? Because taking a kid at their word is, like, very difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what the right thing is. It's just so sad because I just know there's, like, millions of kids that are probably in this exact scenario where it's an unsafe environment, but it's not enough to get them safe.
Yeah. And then sometimes places they go aren't very great either.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think needs to change a lot too.
Like foster care and stuff too.
Yeah. Like there's some great families that do foster care stuff, but I've
Right.
heard there's some bad
Right.
situations.
And like foster homes. Yeah, like yeah, we have our captain who has like had many foster kids because he grew up being or having foster siblings. And he's like, in the case like that, he wanted a ton of foster kids because then you can create a loving home and create the right environment.
That's
But
cool.
but he says it all the time. Like, it's like so sad what goes on in the foster care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know enough to have much of an opinion on it, but I would just pray that they're okay.
Yeah.
So by May of 2013, the concern surrounding Bella wasn't just about like injuries anymore. It was actually kind of leading more into the environment itself because in May of 2013, another report was made alleging neglect this time. The home itself sounds so foul. Described as unsanitary, moldy food, accumulated trash, flies, cockroaches, like way beyond just having clutter and that kind of stuff. It was like described as very unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine you're like a growing kid. You're like in this environment. Like that is got to be so gross.
Yeah.
Like you have no good food in the house as you're growing, you know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then they probably learn that from their parents.
True.
Potentially, or they're just bums.
Ugh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
So then, of course, the situation is assessed once again, and the home was acknowledged to be in poor condition. Like, yeah, this is actually really gross.
You know that thing that's just stuck in my head over and over again right now?
What?
Break the pattern today. Or like
What's that? I've never heard that. Break the pattern today. That's a great line to use.
no, it's like a TikTok sound where it's like break the pattern today or the pattern repeats. Break the pattern today. Or
I've
the
never
pattern
heard
repeats.
that.
Oh.
Maybe
It's
I'll get
something like that.
copyrighted if I put it in.
Yeah.
I've tried to do that before, and the episode never went up. So
Yeah. It's something like that. I mean, if it's a sound on TikTok, I feel like it should be a good for anything else.
that's true. I'll try and put it in. We'll see what happens. But that's a good point.
Break-
Go ahead. You can try
No,
one time.
I'm trying to think because that doesn't sound right. It sounds more smooth.
I know you're making it sound like staccato.
Well, it sounds like a robot kind of.
Oh.
It sounds like a futuristic robot lady. It's like break the pattern today or the pattern repeats. But I don't think that's the wording.
It's funny how your eyes get like scary when you're doing that.
I'm turning into a robot.
I could tell you got into character.
Break the pattern today.
That was creepy. Huh. Well, I'll try and find it.
Break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. You must break the pattern today, or the loop will
I was just thinking about that, like with the parents
Yeah.
and kids, but
True.
it's hard because,
Yeah. Life.
yeah,
Life
they're
conditions.
maybe raised like that, and
True. And so, exactly.
Get
I mean,
into
like,
drugs.
you don't know if, this is going to be
Into
something that's
alcohol.
just, true. And obviously Bella's only 8 and her older sister is 10. So they've been around this in their entire lives. And so you just pray that they're able to get themselves in a better situation because obviously the cleanliness is not worst case scenario in terms of like you can be getting way worse abuse, but
there should be like a standard with like a CPS or whatever they're called. Walk in and see a certain amount of dirtiness, they should be like, yeah, this is not good for the kid. You got to clean this up, or you're not gonna get your.
True.
I don't know.
It's like that's like so hard. It's like 52 items left out. You know, it's like the bar is like such a weird thing. And so when the situation was assessed, they obviously were like, okay, is this enough to like remove the child though? And I'm actually gonna look it up, like what the standards are, because the repeated issue in this case is that they're noting signs of neglect. They're noting that these things are happening, yet they are saying that it's not to the level to remove the child.
Yeah. What if it's something that they come out with something like we have when we have like in aviation when we have like there's a system that fails and then it like we can reset it and it works. But if there are multiple
redundant failures,
then like you have to get it checked.
That's how it should be. But then it's also scary because it's like, at how many points does something really, really bad happen? And so like, I feel like considering this is the third report, you think like, okay, 3 strikes,
you're out.
Yeah, something's got to happen. According to Google, with the DCS removing a child, it says that key standards for removal are if there's an immediate risk to to the child, immediate risk. So the child is in immediate danger of severe physical harm, or if an infant is suffering from substantial exposure, no caregiver available. So the child's left alone, abandoned, anything like that. Safety threats. So says specific present dangers exist, such as non-accidental injuries requiring medical care or hazardous living conditions. That falls under that. Maybe because she didn't get medical care, they couldn't do anything.
Didn't take her to the doctor.
Sounds like hazardous living conditions.
And, like the hospital's always like, what happened? Like, want to know what happened.
True.
So they can be like, all right, that guy needs to go to jail.
Even when I went to my doctor, like I had to fill out a form, and like I was just at the OBGYN, and they said like, has your husband...
Why were you at the OBGYN?
Because that's what women's health is all about.
I'm just joking.
And I had to go, and they gave you a form to fill out, and it like asks like, are you getting abused? Is your husband treating you right? Like all those type of questions.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said, he's so abusive. I'm so scared. He's like in the next room waiting for me. Just kidding. No. Yeah. And he's like, no. And so I know that like obviously hospitals have to take it very seriously. So the living conditions, I feel like, seem like they fall into this criteria. And then the last one that it mentions is failure to protect. So a parent is unable or unwilling to protect the child from harm. But that's hard. Like, how do you determine that? You don't seem like, maybe like knives and scissors and stuff out and about and weapons.
Or like they're not, like their house, has a lot of
fire hazard too.
Things going on, like men, unknown men coming in and out. Like you're not willing to like protect your kid from just random people. Or like drugs.
Funny
like
you say that.
Alcohol left out.
This all seems to be fitting under the category of Bella's life.
Yep.
Because in June of 2013, so this is just another month later, attention shifted to stability. So what the reports were worried about is that, one, she was missing a lot of school at this point. She wasn't able to attend all that often, so like teachers were raising suspicion. And also they're worried about her supervision because Bella was living with her mom, her sister, her stepdad too, like you said. And they were present, like her mom and stepdad, I guess. But it seemed as though but
not present.
Yeah, not very present at the same time. But they had their type of friends that would come over, and they had strange men coming in and out of their house and strange people. And we know drugs were most likely involved. And so people were getting worried that young children shouldn't be around this type of activity, these type of people. We have strangers coming in and out. And rather than focusing on physical discipline, the pattern now is pointing to like just the instability of the home and the environment as well. Because they were like moving consistently. They had like random people watching over them at different times, which is crazy to me. Like so-called friends, but you have like these random strangers coming in to watch your children while you go out of town or whatever. And they're potential drug addicts. We don't know for sure. But there's definitely just so much going on that you weren't able to maintain any sort of structure for these kids. And to me, this is enough. I've seen everything I need to see. Get those kids out of there. Like, let's get the parents cleaned up. Let's figure out good environment, and then they can reevaluate. So there were discussions actually about placing Bella with a relative, like just a little caregiver for a little bit. I saw a video. I was like, there's not much on this, but there's like a couple like minute and a half interview clips. And it seemed as though her grandma may have actually had her for a few months. But like the grandma's like, she's like my daughter. I had her for 6 months or whatever. But no other sources say that she was ever in anyone else's care. So I go back and forth on whether how factual that is, if she was out of the house for a few months.
Or maybe she'd just get dropped off like a day
Or
at a
grandma
time
stayed
or
at the
something.
house to care for her.
So it was like, I basically took care of her for 6 months, but not,
Like
it wasn't
relocated.
living or, yeah.
That makes sense. So
Break
I have
the
a
pattern
suspicion.
today.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know why it's so stuck in my head. I can't
Good
stop.
thing. I have a little suspicion that maybe grandma's the one calling DCS this whole time.
Probably.
If grandma's trying to get a little bit of more, become more guardian over Bella.
Become more guardian.
I don't know what it's called. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. To be able to have her, I don't know what the terminology is, but basically that she wants Bella more in her care, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she's trying to like babysit the kids and all that stuff, maybe she's the one calling. I don't know. It doesn't say.
Hopefully.
That's allegation. So by early 2014, all of the investigations were closed. So we had like 5 so far leading up to
Oh, wow.
2014. Yeah. But by this point, Bella's name had appeared in multiple reports over several years. Concerns about like the drug, the supervision, the physical discipline, home conditions, school stability, all of it compiled. Maybe each incident alone wasn't like up to legal standard, like you said, but maybe all of them together should point to like there's some issues going on.
Yep. Agreed.
But I should say months later, so we're going to fast forward, this was June, we're in September 2014, that instability would collide with something far worse. So we started off with how Bella was found. But do you want to guess how she got there? You haven't guessed in any of our episodes recently, so I don't know if you want to say anything, but
yeah.
because we're going to be starting back from the top.
I think mother and stepfather got super high, and yeah, she was, at the wrong place at the wrong time, and
They blacked out, didn't know what was going on.
did something, and then they just took her and buried her, and
Ugh, horrible.
so
Okay, so I think parents. Yeah, so let's dive back to where we started. It was Labor Day weekend in 2014. It's late Monday night in Bullhead City, and it's around 11:30 p.m. that Bella's 10-year-old sister sees her alive and well in the house, and nothing seems out of place. There's
Wait.
no arguments, no raised voices.
I think the stepdad's friend
Okay,
actually did something.
okay.
I continue.
Stepdad's friend.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So her sister goes to the bathroom, like I said. When she comes back out, she doesn't see her sister anymore. I don't think she was worried right away. Maybe she just didn't look around the house. But sometime after midnight, Bella's mom returns home from what some reporting say was like a late night Walmart run. And depending on sources, her stepdad was with the mom.
Okay.
Okay. At some point between her return and approximately 1:30 a.m., it becomes clear that Bella is not in the house.
So is the parents gone that whole time?
That's what it seems like.
Because Walmart, does it close that late?
Walmart's 24/7, I think.
I don't think all of them are.
Maybe this is a 24/7 one.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe she got home right after midnight, but they didn't realize till 1:30 she was gone.
Or maybe they went to Walmart and did some other stuff,
That's true. It could happen.
and then like
Got
drugs
home
or
around-
something.
Maybe.
Or they're just chilling.
Yeah.
and
Taking
they
their time
late.
getting home.
Yeah.
True. But it wasn't until 1:30 that they realized that Bella wasn't in the house. And this is when they actually called the police. So they're quick to call the cops,
The parents.
the parents.
Okay. Where were they then?
They were at Walmart.
Is that
So
what we think?
that's what we think. That's what the reports say. Officers arrive quickly. It's a missing child in the middle of the night. This triggers urgency immediately, of course.
I'm skeptical of if they're really at Walmart.
Okay. They began canvassing the neighborhood. They searched the surrounding desert terrain. They checked nearby streets. Inside the home, investigators looked for signs of forced entry. There's no broken doors. There's no shattered windows. No overturned furniture, which narrows the possibilities to almost immediately. There was no signs of forced entry. You look like you're really thinking hard right now.
Nice, because they didn't go to Walmart.
Okay. By
Unless
daylight...
they went to Walmart and got shovel.
Ooh, got all the wrong things at Walmart. Okay. By daylight, the search expands. Additional agencies assist with this. The FBI becomes involved quickly because of Bella's age and just like the circumstances around it. And then less than a half mile from the house, in a desert wash, searchers notice disturbed earth, and lying in a shallow grave is 8-year-old Bella. The investigation is quick and effective. Like, this is like cases open and closed right away, by the way. Investigators immediately lock down the scene. The wash is photographed from every angle. The soil is preserved. Impressions in the dirt are flagged. The FBI joins obviously the investigation joined quickly. Well, they're able to bring the forensic specialist and be able to do anything with the assisting of evidence processing. Like I said before, there were no tiny little footprints indicating that Bella just walked over herself and did anything weird. But what they did find, however, was a large set of footprints walking to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like shoe prints?
Shoe prints.
So they can see what kind of shoes.
Mm-hmm. And this feels so like Scooby-Doo to me. I'm like, how often are you like, I see footprints, follow the trail, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of crazy. I'm like, it's obviously the dirt, so that you're able to have good and solid impressions.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And this was like their biggest and only evidence, basically.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
I was going to say, like, I feel like dirt is always good at like getting footprints.
True. It's like sandy,
moist
soft,
enough,
yeah.
but not like sand.
True.
So like it holds its shape.
I can't think of a better material for you to get prints off of.
I can't.
Not a single
Unless
thing.
it's clay.
True. Yeah. Well, they send the shoe impressions to the lab, hoping.
I'm trying to be serious, and you're.
Well, your eyes are like this, unless it's clay. They're sending these impressions to the lab, hoping to get just anything, like the shoe type, size, like everything you were saying. And they're going to cross-check this with any potential suspects that they come across.
I wonder if there's a database that, like, you upload the shoe.
Weird.
Print, and then it's like.
It's like a fingernail print or fingerprint for some reason.
This matches, like these shoes.
That'd be nice.
Slight.
Like Converse have these type of bottoms or whatever.
The Converse size 10. This version.
Well, I'm
sold
sure
in
all
these
the
stores.
forensic people are just so familiar with the different types of shoes at this point.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I think is really cool about like shoe analysis, which is so weird, is that they're looking for like tread pattern, so like they're able to see like where
like
things
Tyler's.
are worn. What?
Just like tires.
Yeah, which is so cool. It's like, oh, the person walks with like a little heavier on his left foot, and they can see that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, if it could like scan that and be like, the tread on the like outer side of the foot is worn down, indicating he's pronates or whatever the word is. I don't know.
Yeah, that is a real thing. That is what they do.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And that shoe print analysis comes back pretty quickly. And this one, the investigation accelerates and like
terminates.
So the impressions found in the desert wash are compared to footwear collected during each of the interviews. So like, which is funny to me. I'm like, don't wear the same shoes. Like, how do they know like all the shoes? I feel like it'd be like toss and everything. I'm always shocked when people are like, this is like the same button from this shirt. I'm like, why do you still have that shirt? Like, I mean, I'm glad bad guys get caught, but you walk into like
Maybe
your interview and you have.
Just doesn't think about it.
I guess so.
I feel like half the times murderers get caught is they didn't even know they left that thing of that sample or evidence, or they just didn't know you could get caught for that kind of thing.
I think that people often like, if you're gonna commit murder, you're probably in some sort of mental breaks, heat of the moment, those type of things where you're not like hyper focused on, okay, am I leaving shoe prints? Am I like, is my DNA anywhere?
Even like the guy who can be caught was caught, the Golden State Killer.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Who would have thought when he was killing people that he'd get caught by genealogy?
Yeah, and that's what's crazy too. Obviously, nowadays, I think everyone knows about DNA and all that. But, like, serial killers and people back then, what a weird thing. Like, they'd have no idea DNA could have ever been a thing.
Yeah,
That would
I'm
be their
still
downfall.
shocked that police back in the day, like, kept all that stuff.
That's
like,
so cool.
It's going to happen someday. And
That's
it's like,
so
how do
cool.
you know?
I think they're just so hopeful. It's like,
Yeah.
this seems like it would matter. Like, this is someone's blood. Like, we
Yeah.
would know wose blood this is if we could
Yeah,
test it.
they must know, like, you know, like, we can determine it's type O positive blood. And they're like, let's just keep it. Maybe, like, eventually we'll be able to, like,
Get all the...
get the DNA.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, considering they know that they can test it to an extent, it just wasn't very thorough.
Yeah, we're, like,
Maybe
we're
they're-
just getting better at this.
Yeah, true.
And it's, yeah.
Which is so cool. But
This is a random question, but
Oh.
is your palm print different than everyone else's palm print too, or just your fingerprints?
That's a good question. I don't know. Let's look it up. But I think that it has to be a little bit. Okay, I see. Yes, palm prints are unique to each individual, even among identical twins, and they remain stable throughout a person's life. Okay, so yeah, it seems as though there are. I was gonna say, because I know that they, like, if they see a palm print on, like, a dirty window, like, people are, like, taking that as evidence. So it has to have, like, some specific characteristics. So that makes sense.
It's so cold in this room right now.
I know. Blake's like, I'm gonna turn on the AC because I get sleepy if it's warm, and now I'm, like, freezing. Okay, well, anyways, they get all that information about the shoe, and they're comparing those prints to everybody that walks in. They walk in the investigator's door, and they're like, let me see your shoes. Compare. Okay?
Yeah.
With that said, this worked. The shoe print worked.
But that's the hard thing is, like, what if there's 80 guys in that town that have the same shoe?
No one's walking the same way, though.
That's
with the
true.
same wear of their
That's
shoes.
true, that's true.
Like, I had this shoe for 2
That's
months,
true,
and this
that's
person
true.
had it for a year. Whatever.
Yeah.
Once the shoe print analysis comes back, the investigation, like I said, is basically closed. Because the tread pattern, the size, and wear characteristics matched a pair of shoes belonging to a Justin James Rector.
Friend of.
Stepfather.
Really?
The parents.
It is? Oh, he is a friend?
So that
Alright.
physical link places him at the burial site, not just near it. Like, it literally walked up to the grave, walked away from the grave. Like, it could not have been, like, a mistake of shoe print identity. He is taken to custody and formally arrested. So initially he is held on suspicion of kidnapping and murder. But as the investigation continues and prosecutors review the evidence, formal charges are filed. First-degree murder, kidnapping, child abuse, and abandonment of a body.
Jeez.
During early court
The parents
proceedings-
didn't know anything about this?
Well, we're going to go into that.
Okay.
During early court proceedings, Justin is held without bond. According to reporting, court documents indicate that when questioned, he did not provide a confession in the traditional sense, but invoked his right to the attorney as the investigation intensified. So, you may be asking, who is Justin? He's a big old scumbag.
Yeah.
That's who he is. And we have hardly any information on him, which is so frustrating.
Jeez.
What we know is that Justin James Rector was 28 years old in 2014 and living in Bullhead City at the time of Bella's death. He was described in court and media reporting as a family friend who had actually been staying in the house with these kids and family. Whether that had been for a few days or whether it had been for a few months, reports don't say how long he's been living in the house, but I guess he was close enough with the parents that they trusted him to watch the kids when they went to Walmart, when they went out. And he was living in the house for who knows how long. So the kids were familiar with him, but it seems as though he was also behaving in probably inappropriate ways around children with drugs and such as well.
Mm-hmm.
But public records do not reflect an extensive documented criminal history prior to this case, and reporting offers little detail about his personal background beyond his connection to this family. So I don't know if he's like done anything in his past to have any sort of
I feel like if you do something like that, you've probably done some other really bad
Something.
things.
You would think.
You
and
might
I'm
have just not gotten
surprised.
caught.
True.
Or
maybe
you're
you
just,
have.
it was your first time, but you've interested in really gross things that
Right.
made you get to that point.
Well, it's like kind of frustrating me. He's a bad guy. Let us see all his public records. Why is this hidden?
Yeah. It's probably just like, just didn't get as much exposure because it was
open
maybe,
and closed.
yeah, found so fast.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I
He's in
think
jail
like
and
I don't know how long it took for the shoe
hopefully
print to
beat
come
up.
back from analysis, but I think like it was like, okay, if it's not the parents, it's this guy because he's living at the house, and it was like pretty open and shut from there.
All right, quick break from the case. Because if you've ever looked up at a plane and thought, I wonder what it's like to actually fly one, this is for you. Today's episode is brought to you by Simply Fly Flight School, a local flight school right here in Arizona that makes learning to fly simple, fast, and actually affordable. Simplify offers discovery flights where you can get in a real plane with a certified flight instructor, take the controls, and experience what it's like to be an actual pilot. No experience needed, just show up and enjoy. And for our listeners, you can get $10 off your discovery flight when you book through simplyflyco.com. Whether you're checking off a bucket list item, thinking about becoming a pilot, or just want the coolest experience you'll have all year, this is it. Head to simplyflyco.com, book your discovery flight, and use podcast discount to save $10. Now back to true crime.
So that's like all the information we have of Justin. Meanwhile, the medical examiner confirms Bella's cause of death, like I said, was asphyxiation by strangulation, like they suspected. And court proceedings later reference evidence consistent with sexual assault, though detailed forensic specifics are not fully released publicly, which I'm totally okay with that. Like, let the girl have some dignity. Like, I feel like we need to know all those details. So the case moves forward to trial. So given the age of the victim and the circumstances around the crime, prosecutors initially filed notice that they intend to seek the death penalty, which, okay.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Okay. And Arizona first-degree murder involving a child can qualify as capital offense under aggravated factors. So for years, the case sits in pretrial motions. Evidence is litigated, defense strategy develops, the state prepares for what would likely be a lengthy and emotional charged trial. But that is until in 2018, so this is 4 years after the murder and the arrest. The state makes a strategic decision. Prosecutors withdraw the request from the death penalty, which I was bummed to hear. But while they do not publicly lay out all the very reasons why this is, in cases like this, the move often reflects an effort to secure guaranteed conviction and life sentences rather than like the risks of uncertainties of a capital jury trial. I think their idea is we want to make sure he's behind bars. If like the jury's not for death, then
they might be able to go free.
Then he might be able to go free. So we'd rather get life and make sure he's convicted.
Yeah.
Which I understand that, but I'm like, come on, jury, pull through. So that decision changes everything because it opens the door now for a plea agreement. And plea agreements are off the table with like death penalty. Because obviously you're not going to plead guilty and get death. So
he's like, fine, I did it.
I know, just taking me away. Yeah, so now that is even an option for him. So obviously I don't like kid cases because they're really sad. But also people probably think I'm a horrible person because I'm like, you touch a child, death.
Yeah.
I'm all for the death penalty in this sense, as long as we
same.
confidently know that this is the perpetrator. So maybe that's why I don't do those, so people don't come at me. I'm like very much pro death penalty in that way. But in December of 2018, more than 4 years after Bella's death, Justin James Rector, now with the death penalty off the table, pleads guilty to first-degree murder. So 4 years after he's arrested, after she's murdered, now he's pleading guilty. Mm-hmm. And it's so frustrating because Justin didn't have to say anything. He didn't have to say what happened. He didn't need to give anyone a timeline of any, like, obviously we have a general idea of what happened, but it's so frustrating. All he had to say, he was guilty. He didn't have to say anything else. There was no jury, no cross-examination, no public recreation of the crime in open court, which obviously is probably fine because it's a child. But by pleading guilty, he avoids the possibility of execution, having to testify, and all he has to do is say, yep, that happened. Mm-hmm. And it's almost frustrating to me. I'm like, he got such an easy way out, in my opinion.
Yeah, true.
Under the plea agreement, he is sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 35 years. That means that he would not be eligible for release until 2049, and that would have put Bella in her 40s, which is crazy perspective.
Yeah.
The remaining charges are resolved as part of the agreement. So for Bella's family, the plea brings finality, but and they don't have a trauma of the trial. And I don't mean to attack the family, bringing up all the DPS investigations and such. And I don't think they contributed to her murder in the sense that I don't think that they knew that Justin was going to do this. But I don't know. Although her parents aren't murderers, and I'm not trying to put blame on them, it is relevant, I feel to say that it's your responsibility as a parent to protect your child.
Yeah.
And if you're letting strange people in your house, and most people aren't even comfortable with male family members watching their children, and
am I gonna watch your kid?
We'll see what happens one day. And I'm just kidding. But that's the thing is, you have to be.
I'm mostly scared.
I know, true. I know, true. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm also scared. But
not scared, just scared because I don't take care of children very often.
You've never had to do it before.
Yeah.
That's why I would also be scared. For you to watch my child or for me to watch your child, I feel like that'd be scary.
Or for you to watch your child.
Yeah, true. I'm scared to watch my own child. No, but well, that's what I'm saying is that you're as a parent, you should probably be really diligent on who's watching your kid, who you're allowing into your house, and you're letting these people come in that you obviously know have bad habits, who maybe are not the most stand-up type of person, and they're watching your 8 and 10-year-old.
Yeah. But maybe it's a lifelong friend, and you're I just need to help this guy get back on his feet, and you just trust him.
I know, and
it's hard to be
that's true.
It's just
and he's watched them a million times and nothing's happened.
Yeah, from what we know.
Yeah, true. And that's the thing is, they being reporters and sources, gave me no information on how long these people have been friends, how long he's known the family, and how close they actually are. Were they there at their birth? Yeah. Who knows?
Where it gets bad is what if he's just some druggie that they do drugs together and they let him stay or something like that. That's the things that could have been.
Yeah, and because we don't have the answers, it makes you wonder. And because of what he did, it leads me to believe it's that one. But we don't have the answers, and so I'm not gonna call him out or the parents out. Yeah, he's in jail, so we're allowed to talk bad about him, but not the parents. Just kidding. So I don't know, just allowing a stranger in your house, it could be just so dangerous, and I just think that parents stay on top of your game. Yeah, little kids at home.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know where maybe it's just so sad. Just stay diligent. Diligent?
Yeah.
Stay diligent. Anyways, poor parents if they really had no idea anything was going to happen. So, in July 2019, James appears finally in a formal sentencing. And family members address the court. They talk about Bella. They talk about who she was and what was taken from them and how special she was as a daughter. James offers an apology in court, actually, which I'm that's the least you could have done. But and the judge imposes the agreed-upon sentence that we mentioned earlier. And now it's finalized: life in prison with eligibility for parole after 35 years. The sentence is mandatory under the plea terms. With that, the criminal case now is closed. So the story obviously does not end cleanly because outside the courtroom there are lingering questions about the years before September 2014. The DCS reports, the instability, the warning signs. After Bella's death, the Arizona Department of Child Safety actually conducts a fatality review and concludes that there had been failure to protect her by leaving her with an inappropriate caregiver. And so
The parents get charged?
It doesn't seem like they got charged. No. So, at least from what I read, they might have. But the system had documented years of concern, and I think that they took some responsibility in not protecting Bella as well. Which, it's interesting now, like, as you pile it up, it feels obvious looking back. But none of those prior investigations met the legal thresholds for removal, and so it sounds like they need to lower those thresholds. But that is the heartbreaking and short life story of Isabella Bella Grogan-Cannella.
Dang, that's sad.
Isn't that horrible? I know, it's fascinating, though, because it really brings to light, like, protect those kids. Like, no matter, like, there's always not always, but a lot of times there are warning signs. Like, there are indications that a child may be unsafe. And so
it's important to see something, say something.
See something, say something.
Yeah. Let DPS or whatever it's called do the investigation.
Yep.
And now that we've reached the end of the episode, if you've reached this point, the key word is footprint.
Footprint. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Keyword footprint. I cannot, like, I love when cases are like that, though, where they're like, it's so obvious. They one piece of evidence links to them, and they get them so fast. I'm like, yes. I feel so sad for cases that go 20, 30 plus years without ever getting solved. So
yeah. It's sad no matter what.
It's always sad. And so, yeah, I felt. And Bella seemed like such a sweet girl. I'll have pictures up and stuff. Like, she was so dang cute. Do you have any true crime for us?
Yes. Give me that.
Okay.
Another thing I wanted to mention is we have maybe you could talk about the Team Tim race.
Oh.
And then also maybe invite people to do other
races
with us.
All right. Well, every year we run a half marathon in honor of our dad who passed away from cancer in 2020. And we've always called it Team Tim, and we've always done half marathon. But we want to get to the point where we're hosting our own race. And so this fall in Arizona, we plan to host our own race, a little 5K, for all those who want to participate and run against cancer. We're actually going to start calling it Be Hard to Kill, because our dad lived by that motto. He wanted to, like, put up a good fight is what it's for, representing. And so stay tuned for more information on that. It will be this fall. I don't have dates yet, but it will be a 5K, and you can run for whoever in your life has cancer. It doesn't have to obviously be for our dad. But just keep an eye out, because more information will be coming out about that. And then Blake's starting to get into running.
Yeah. And
so we're doing the Salt Lake half marathon in April. Yeah, April, I think. So it's coming up quick. But if you're in the Utah area, if you want to be in the Utah area, go run with us in Salt Lake, half marathon, or whatever distance you want to do. We always run in honor of our dad, but you can run in whoever's honor. And let's see, we have that race. Blake's doing a June High Rocks in New York.
Yep.
They already sold out, so I couldn't do it. But if it opens back up, maybe I'll go to New York with him and do it with him. But I don't know. I don't think we have any other races coming up, right?
I was listening very well, but I was typing.
I said Team Tim, April, High Rocks.
Yep. Salt Lake City half marathon.
That's what I mentioned.
Yeah, we could do like a little sick team.
Oh, yeah?
That'd be cool.
Little sick team.
Yeah.
Siblings in crime, if you're not catching on to what that meant.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cute. That would be fun. So, support against crime.
Yeah. All right, so this week in true crime news. 1 second. All right, so on March 3rd, 2026, Minnesota mother convicted of killing sons and setting house on fire.
Oh my gosh. Was that yesterday? Wait, today's the 3rd.
Yeah, today's the 4th.
What
yesterday.
the freaky?
On March 3rd, a Minnesota mother was found guilty of murdering her 2 sons and setting fire to their home in an attempt to cover up the crime. Prosecutors said the woman intentionally started the fire after killing the children, hoping investigators would believe that the deaths were accidental. After 2 weeks on trial, a jury convicted her on multiple counts of murder and arson. She now faces the possibility of spending the rest of her life in prison, as she should.
Wait, question. So the trial ended yesterday then?
Yeah.
I was about to say, wait, 2 weeks? Okay. That never works. If you're going to commit murder, don't do it, first of all. Second of all, don't try to cover it up with a fire. I feel like
it happens. It works sometimes, though.
I feel like rarely. Well, it depends. Actually, we probably shouldn't be on how you get away with it.
I know. I don't know how to, but...
Not a gunshot wound.
Isn't there like a podcast that like says like how they would do
yeah.
it? I kind of like that.
I listened to a podcast like I listened to them like twice because they were covering a case I was covering. They always ended it with what they would have done to not get away with it. I was like, wait, that is like so bold.
I know.
I thought it was hilarious.
That's kind of cool, actually.
That's kind of fair.
But kind of scary.
Yeah.
All right. February 25th, 2026. Elderly man charged after allegedly killing wife with dementia.
Oh, that's horrible.
On February 25th in Florida, an 80-year-old man was arrested and charged with first-degree murder after allegedly killing his 83-year-old wife. According to investigators, the man told authorities he had been caring for his wife as she suffered from dementia and claimed he had dealt with it for long. Oh my gosh. Sometimes they use words or like use like
Yeah.
the sentence format like in a way that's like not normal.
natural.
Yeah, not natural. According to investigators, the man told authorities that he had been caring for his wife as she suffered from dementia and claimed he had dealt with it for too long. The case has sparked debate online after caregivers stress and mercy killing.
Interesting.
I feel like that doesn't make sense.
Well,
The case has sparked debate online about caregiver stress and mercy killing.
yeah, about his stress and mercy killings.
Yeah, but okay. But prosecutors say the act was deliberate and criminal. I know they're saying that like that sentence just sounds weird to me. But people are debating online
What would
that,
you think about that? How do you feel about
it's
mercy
a caregiver
killings?
stress and mercy killing. I don't know.
I feel like mercy killing is like not the same as killing a person that has mental illness,
Yeah.
like dementia. If somebody was like dying, is like begging you to finish them off, like you see like
Yeah.
a deer that's like about to die and it's gonna take like 6 hours, and they kill the deer. I feel like that's one thing, but if you're just taking it upon yourself to think that you're doing a mercy killing, it's probably not the right thing.
And dementia, it's like
That's not even like a
they're not in pain.
Yeah,
They
you're
just
not,
can't
like,
remember.
dying. It's not like you're actively dying
But
right
it's probably
then.
hard on the person.
Well, yeah.
Probably. I heard about this town or some mini town in another country, and it's basically an Alzheimer like dementia. It's for patients like that, and everyone in the place has Alzheimer's and dementia. And there's like some caregivers that dress like normal people. There's only one way in and out, but it basically lets people with Alzheimer's from, I think mainly like just wander around because that's like
That's so
they have like the
sad.
urge to just wander.
Yeah.
And like that's what's so bad about it being in the real world
Yeah.
is because they can get lost.
So
and
they
hurt.
make it seem like it's like a world simulation where they can
Yeah.
just go do
They just
whatever.
wander around and
That's
there's caregivers
so
there to
creepy.
help
That
them
sounds so
too.
zombie-ish. to
Yeah,
me.
but it's like obviously it helps them a lot.
Yeah, they can be independent in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
That's
kind of
true.
cool.
2nd, 2026. Escaped inmate sentenced after murder of ex-girlfriend. Prosecutors in in New York announced that 37-year-old Michael Burnham has been sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for murder of his ex-girlfriend, 34-year-old Kayla Hodgkin. Authorities say Burnham shot Hodgkin while she was sleeping inside of her home in Jamestown, New York, May 11th, 2023. At the time, Burnham already had an active arrest warrant after Hodgkin reported him to police for rape and unlawful imprisonment months earlier. Investigators say Hodgkin's 3 children, 8, 11, and 14, were inside the home when the shooting happened.
Horrible.
After the murder, Burnham allegedly set a vehicle on fire and fled the state, triggering a multi-state manhunt.
That's
Okay.
weird.
That lasted nearly 2 weeks before he was captured in South Carolina. During the manhunt, authorities say Burnham kidnapped an elderly couple at gunpoint in Pennsylvania and forced them to drive him south. He was later arrested and jailed in Pennsylvania, but in July 2023, he escaped from jail by climbing onto the roof and using bed sheets to climb down, sparking a second manhunt before he was recaptured 9 days later. Burnham is already serving a lengthy sentence in Pennsylvania for kidnapping and will eventually be transferred to New York to serve his murder sentence. Prosecutors say the goal is to ensure that he remains behind bars for the rest of his life.
That seems like a good goal.
That's a crazy story.
That is so wild. That's so sad. She
Yeah.
had like 3 kids on stuff.
Yeah.
Escaped. I wonder why he set a car on fire before. Did he
I don't know. It's kind of just
The distraction, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. That's
Maybe
weird.
just pissed.
Yeah, I guess. He seems so
He
intense.
seems really psycho.
Yeah. Escaping jail is wild.
Yeah. All right. Former worship leader and American Idol hopeful charged in wife's death. February 21st, 2026, authorities in Tip City, Ohio, announced that 39-year-old Caleb Flynn, a former church worship leader who once auditioned for American Idol, had been charged with the murder of 37-year-old wife Ashley Flynn. Police say Caleb initially called 911 claiming that an intruder had broken into their home and shot his wife. However, the detectives examined the scene. They found no signs of forced entry, and investigators say the physical evidence does not match his account. Authorities now believe the crime scene may have been staged to resemble a home invasion. Caleb Flynn has been charged with murder, felonious assault, and tampering with evidence, and has now pled guilty. Ashley Flynn was a teacher and volleyball coach, and is remembered by friends and family as a beloved member of the community.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I wonder why.
His audition probably sucked.
Yeah.
If he's guilty. If he's not guilty, then it was probably really good.
He probably wasn't good because he didn't make it.
I know, I'm just trying to get the benefit out. But that's horrible. I don't know how people are just doing this to their spouses and their boyfriends and girlfriends and all that crazy stuff. But anything before we wrap it up?
No, that's it.
So, anyways, well, thanks for being with us today. We'll be back next week with another episode of Shoeprints and Crime.
Yep, adios.